For over 5 millennia, humans have shared a single obsession, trying to decode the scenes that play inside our heads while we sleep. By the 3rd millennium BCE, Mesopotamian kings were already recording and interpreting their nocturnal visions on wax tablets. 1,000 years later, ancient Egyptians expanded on this practice. They compiled extensive dream books that listed over 100 specific scenarios alongside their meanings. Today, despite mapping the human genome and building supercomputers, we face a bizarre scientific irony. After decades of modern research, we still lack a definitive explanation for why we spend a third of our lives in this hallucinatory state. The confusion stems from looking for a single explanation. Dreaming operates as a highly complex suite of distinct biological and psychological maintenance programs. To understand the sleeping brain, we have to examine the 3 distinct operational systems it boots up for the night shift. Every thought you have and action you take while awake creates new neural connections. By the end of a single day, your brain's architecture holds roughly 10,000 trillion of them. A neurobiological theory called reverse learning suggests your brain uses REM sleep to manage this massive data intake. Your neocortex systematically identifies useless parasitic connections and dumps them to prevent cognitive overload. While it deletes the irrelevant data, it actively fortifies critical memories. In 2010, researchers tested subjects on their ability to navigate a complex 3D maze, and then tested them again after a resting period. This chart shows the performance differences between the resting methods. The subjects who took a nap and specifically dreamed about the maze performed up to 10 times better than those who stayed awake or those who napped without dreaming at all. The continual activation theory even suggests the brain constantly generates random data from its memory storage simply to prevent a complete shutdown, operating exactly like a biological screensaver. System 1 serves as an aggressive data manager, formatting the hard drive to prevent overload while backing up the spatial and long-term memories required for the next day. Beyond data management, our sleep cycles serve a deeply rooted evolutionary purpose, explained by the primitive instinct rehearsal theory. Most people experience these intense, high-anxiety dreams. You might find yourself running through a dark forest to outpace a predator, or fighting off a shadowy attacker in an alleyway. These terrifying visions provide a completely risk-free, simulated environment for you to actively practice waking fight-or-flight instincts. This rehearsal mechanism applies to positive scenarios as well. Pleasant dreams, like an encounter with an attractive neighbor, give vital reproductive instincts practical exercise. System 2 acts as an evolutionary holodeck. It leverages your deepest anxieties and desires to keep your physical survival reflexes sharp and dependable for the real world. In the early 1900s, Sigmund Freud proposed the psychological framework for this process. He theorized our dreams serve to symbolically fulfill our subconscious primitive urges. Modern neurobiology offers a chemical mechanism for this emotional regulation. During the REM sleep cycle, the brain actively suppresses the activity of specific stress-inducing neurotransmitters. Because those chemical stress signals are turned down, you can review painful or traumatic waking events with significantly less mental distress, which facilitates active psychological healing. This unconstrained mental state is incredibly useful for lateral thinking. Unbound by waking logic, the mind can formulate entirely new solutions to problems, a phenomenon author John Steinbeck called the Committee of Sleep. This mental committee has produced verifiable scientific breakthroughs. It is how the renowned chemist August Kekulé visualized and discovered the distinct ring structure of the benzene molecule. Operating as System 3, the sleeping brain serves a dual psychological purpose, mitigating emotional trauma as an overnight therapist, while acting as a genius brainstorming committee for logic puzzles. There is no single answer for why we dream, because dreaming acts as the brain's ultimate multi-tool. Your sleeping mind is concurrently a garbage disposal, a rehearsal stage for survival, a therapist's couch, and a laboratory for problem solving. Advancing neurological technology may eventually allow us to map the exact chemical formula of the unconscious mind, but current science already gives us remarkably clear instructions. Active dreaming is a biological necessity. It keeps the mind sane, ensures our physical survival, and drives cognitive success. So, the next time you face an impossible waking problem, the most scientifically sound advice you can follow is simply to sleep on it.